Welcome back to our coverage today of the Melbourne and Richmond practice matches. Game A done and dusted. The D's getting on top of the Tigers in that one. Recapping the scores: 14-9-93. Melbourne defeating Richmond 12-10-82. But it's time for Game B, where we'll get to see some of the young stars from both clubs competing this afternoon. The likes, we saw glimpses in that final quarter of Callum Coleman-Jones and Jordan Gallucci, just a number of players for the reserves side. Benny Gibson's now boundary side for us. What can you tell us, Ben?
We've just jumped back up into the box here because the game is straight back underway. So Melbourne and Richmond's B teams are at it at Casey Fields, the first of 3 quarters. So we're going to see some exciting young talent out here, aren't we, Benny?
We certainly are. So, and what we saw in the fourth quarter in particular from a Richmond perspective is a lot of those Richmond players are essentially playing 4 quarters because they sort of came in for some fresh legs at in that fourth quarter. Now they'll play these 3 quarters of 30 minutes as well. So a good opportunity from a Richmond perspective for Paddy Naish to really push himself up along with Callum Coleman-Jones. But there's certainly some good young demons out there as well, Benny Gibson. Yeah,
as we have the GM of footy at the Melbourne Footy Club, Alan Richardson, joining us for a quick chat in the box. Richo, happy with what you saw there? Of course, the win isn't everything, but you'll take it nonetheless.
Yeah, I think both clubs would want the same. They'd want to see how their method's going against good opposition. Certainly from our perspective, Richmond, you don't get better opposition, so that was fantastic. And you don't want to get any injuries, and I don't know that we've come through clear. I reckon Richmond have too. I think Jack Rewalt went off for a little while, but came back on, so he's obviously fine. So really good hit out, big ground, so you get some run into the legs. It's a really good prep leading into our first community game for us. It's the Bulldogs. I'm not sure what the Tigers is, but yeah, I think both teams will be pretty happy.
Yeah, we see Burjo patrolling the boundary line here. He had 7 weeks of pre-season to get us right for this one, and it looks like the boys are in pretty good shape.
Yeah, it's probably more to get us right for round 1. Benny, but yeah, no, they were. We ran well. We ran. One of the really pleasing things from our end, we're after our synergy and nailing our method that we've trained all pre-season. But there's also the mental side of it, that you're against a really good team, and Richmond kept coming when we looked like we had a pretty handy lead. And I just like the fact that our blokes continued to respond and find a way. And people like Chandler, that took their chance. That's really pleasing. It's given match committee. Another player, really, the way that he performed today, they'll get a lot of confidence to that. Cozzy Pickett's still to come back into the team to play that specific role, but for Chandler to do that, he's given himself a chance, and as I said, he's given match committee some options.
Yeah, you want to see the young kids going well. James Jordan was good as well.
He was really good, wasn't he? Yeah.
The likes of Spargo and Sparrow getting an opportunity.
Yeah.
And some good kids on display here as well.
Yep. No, for Jordan to be up against blokes like Dusty Martin and Cotson and Lambert, and although Lambert wasn't out there today, but Edwards, they're outstanding players and proven performers in the competition. It's a great, you can imagine the coaching opportunities we get when we watch the tape back, and righto, Dusty got you here, or Cotson got you there, and what would you do next time? And that's what these games are about. But Jordan, he'll be a real chance for round 1, I reckon, the way he's playing and the way he's running, and nice goal early when we were struggling to score. There was a lot to like, there's no doubt about that.
No doubt the fans would have been keen to see how the forward line was going to work without Brown and Wiedemann in the side. Tom McDonald was pretty good at times, and so was Luke Jackson.
Yeah, they up against good players.
Yeah.
Grimes is an outstanding defender. Bolter's become a real star in that position. So, they did really well. It's not who kicks them, it's as long as the team gets them. And what did we end up, Benny? It was a reasonable score, wasn't it? Was it 80-something points?
It was 14-9-93.
93, jeepers. I'm selling the boys short. But no, we liked the way it functioned. And when you consider the quality of the opposition we played, arguably the best defence in the competition, to kick 93 points is a real positive. Now, let's put it into context. It was the first trial game, and both teams are a bit rusty, and perhaps their defence not quite set. But with the exception, perhaps, of Bashahula, there probably wasn't too many to go back into that back 6, was there? And so, no, we were pleased with the scoring, definitely.
From a Melbourne perspective, when Brendan Gale came in and did some commentary with us in the fourth quarter, he couldn't believe how much quicker the Demons played compared to last year. Has that been an emphasis during the off-season?
Yeah, I think you'll find that across the competition because of the way, you have to man the mark these days.
Yep.
And whilst teams will strategise based on their own personnel around that play, it does give opportunity. You're able to move the ball a bit quicker. Ironically, we actually thought we were going too quick early.
Right.
And we needed to compose ourselves a bit more. But, yeah, no, I think that'll be a trend across the competition, given he's really got concrete boots on. He can't do anything. And I think teams will look to exploit that.
So you think that it'll have an impact in how teams move the footy this year?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it didn't. Right. I would think it does just allow you to find the corridor, allows you to roll and get distance. So there's two real weapons that it gives. And there's young Bowie,
yep,
who was a bit stiff not to get into our team. Yeah, he's, we're really looking forward to him coming into our team and giving us some real drive off halfback. He's a classy player, as we saw just there. So, yeah, no, that's certainly going to help.
Elite kick of the ball. Harry Petty's got into a few contests early as well. Kobe Farmer, I think fans will be keen to have a look at the young son of Jeff Farmer out there today as well. So an exciting time for the Melbourne fans.
Yeah, no, it's Harry, as you know, Pets hasn't played a lot of footy.
Yeah.
The coach absolutely loves him. He's just about the coach's pet, I reckon. Because he's so versatile, he can play forward and play back. He's no fuss. He reminds me of a Danaher, the way that he just loves footy and he just makes really good footy decisions. He's quite creative as a defender. And as I said, you can put him at the other end. And depending on what happens with our forwards, because we've obviously had a couple of injuries to Weideman and Brown. A Brownie here who just marked the ball is going to have a shot on goal. He kicked 7 goals 4 in our intra club against some pretty good players. He's a bit stiff there. It was Choco wasn't up at the play, or Adam Kingsley's probably cheating out there. That should have been paid a mark.
Are you going to have a run in the umpire's uniform?
No. Have you seen me run of late? I won't be going out there. But not that Choco's much better. But yeah, no, they do a good job. These games. We did this up in the hubs. We'd make up these trial games. Sometimes 4 clubs making 2 teams, and you'd end up with coaches umpiring. It was it was good. There was great spirit, and it continues here today. Unfortunately, the umpires couldn't do 2 games, but so our blokes will fill in.
So this is some promising build-up from the Tigers. This is Patrick Nace, who we saw come in the 4th quarter. Now Garthwaite, number 42 here for Richmond, with Maurice Rioli Jr. Tips it further afield towards Garthwaite. Didn't quite get the good bounce with the big Tigers man. Samson Ryan, he's further afield as well. Garthwaite kept on running, but he's immediately wrapped up. And looks like a free kick will be paid here to the Demons in the back pocket. For Richmond fans, we heard Kane Lambert in the 2nd quarter talk about Garthwaite, who's a natural, has played a lot of his footy in defence, probably play a bit more forward this year, so that's something for Richmond fans to look out for. So one behind Richmond so far in this game. First of 3 quarters. The ball trickles over the line and out of bounds. It's Toby Bedford, I think, that's supplying the tackle there.
Yeah, Toby was also one that was really close to playing. In fact, if he had to come in, he would have replaced Chandler. Ironically, he was our emergency that just sat there. So he's been dressed and ready to go since since 8 o'clock this morning. So he'll be fine. He's got real speed. He's a massive competitor. We're really excited by Toby.
Yeah, debuted round 1 last year. Played another game up in Cairns. So got a little bit of a taste of AFL footy, but it's good that there is some depth there for the Melbourne small forwards, as we see Kobe Farmer getting the action, but
yeah,
good pressure there.
Just for the fans, just from our perspective with Kobe, his defence is really solid. Some of his offence still needs a little bit of work. Just there's an example there, just being able to finish his work off.
Yeah.
He's working really, really closely with Mark Williams, as do all our young players on his finishing work. So if his commitment, his attitude to his defence comes out in his offence, then he's going to get there. But he's a terrific young player.
This is Thompson Dow for Richmond. Looking for Garthwaite again. Getting himself into the front position. So the Tigers look to go in towards the middle. That's a strong, strong mark as well. Being taken.
Gee, didn't Clayton Oliver mark the ball well today
he did.
in that last quarter?
Yeah.
Terrific. I didn't see him mark it last year because of his shoulder, so that was...
Lift the hands above the head.
Yeah,
now.
he struggled, so that was pleasing after the surgery that he can be so confident.
And the thumping goal from outside 50 on the run.
No, it's good to have a centre bounce.
That's Morris Rioli Jr. I think he's had a shot towards goal. He's just missed.
So who did you guys give the best players for both teams? Which way did you go there today?
Who do we didn't do the votes, did we, in the end? But no, so the best young player on the ground we thought was Chandler, and a lot of people at this time of year are looking for Chandler for the young players to stand out. Stephen May had a really good start to the game, and Jake Lever was
outstanding.
Excellent across the back line.
I'd imagine the Richmond coaches box would have been pulling their hair out at times with Jake, how often he was able to sort their attack and mark the footy.
We were talking to Sam Wiedemann earlier about Lever. He's only 24. I think people forget how young he is. For a key position player, you've got to give him a little bit of time to actually find his best form. It's certainly ahead of him, isn't it?
Yeah, well, because he played so well as a young player.
Yeah, got all that attention in Adelaide.
A bit like Oliver, you have such high expectations, and that's fair enough. But yeah, he was good today. We'd agree on Chandler. Yeah, we love Chandler's game.
The captain was pretty influential at both ends of the ground.
Yes, no, we needed a goal and go and mark it, and we needed to stop a goal and he'd go back and mark it. No, he's as good a mark as I've ever seen.
Right.
Gorney, he's a bloody beauty, isn't he? You know, Petrarca had some really good footy. One thing we didn't do really well today was we squared the ball up a little bit too much.
Okay.
And Track did a couple of those, but, you know, we've got pretty high standards of Track, and so we look for opportunities for him to improve, but he was still really strong. Oliver was strong. And I'm sure Richmond would be the same. They'd be pretty happy with the way a lot of their blokes went.
Because you were talking about at the start that you may have gone too quick. So was that sort of a result of probably trying to look inboard a bit too much?
Yeah, I reckon. Or the stuff you spoke about earlier, the whole competition's trying to exploit the fact that the man on the mark can't move.
Yep.
And so you can appreciate what our training's been like. We've been looking to move the ball and shift the ball and get it off the line and get it back inside. And then you get the Jayden Hunt handball received that breaks the lines that we saw a little bit of today. And we probably overplayed it early.
Yep.
And I think Richmond's first 4 scoring shots came off. We basically kicked it to them. So, we had to address that. And the guys did a good job. Goody did a really good job with the coaches addressing that.
And you look coach's box. We've got Adam Uze in there. There's Greg Stafford who's taking on more responsibility. Choco Williams who's now umpiring. He's the development coach for the Demons. So that all worked well.
Yeah, I mean, it is only a practice match, so there's not a lot of pressure and, you know, the emotion's not where it is for 4 points, but as the Demons kick their
Hunter
first goal.
kicks the first of the game.
Yeah, but, I mean, Uzo's, he's been involved in a winning program for a long time. He's got a real good grasp on the game, and he's hooked up directly to the coach, and you know, the coach was down on the bench today. Goody was on the bench, so that connection was strong. Staff was really good in terms of throwing up ideas for the forwards. Given that there was a period there where Richmond, you know, they were like a bloody brick wall. We couldn't, we couldn't get through, and so, no, they did a good job.
Well, that brings us to just about the halfway point of the first term here in the second game of the afternoon. Richo, we're going to let you go. Thanks for your insight and enjoy the next game.
I'm off to cook the barbecue now.
Important role.
Purdy didn't tell me this when I became the GM of performance, but anyway, that's what I've got to do.
Thanks for your time, Richo.
Right, see you guys.
Thanks very much to Alan Richardson joining us in the commentary position here. So in the meantime, the Demons with that first goal of this game B. Richmond, a couple of scoring opportunities. We saw Rioli just get a toe poke to the ball. Wasn't able to quite pay off. Here's Marlon Pickett working his way through, almost runs into Mark Williams. Handballs it off to Paddy Naish. Coleman Jones has pushed forward. That'll be Mitch Lewis, I think, of the D's, just underneath. Looking for a free kick, but none forthcoming. So about half and half for both teams, made up of AFL-listed players and either VFL-listed players or train-on players at the moment that both teams are looking at.
Yeah, there's some good opportunities here today for some boys that are trying to make their way onto an AFL list and for some that are trying to crack a spot for round one. There's a few young draftees out there. We spoke about some of the D's boys in Jake Bowie, who's a classy user of the ball. Fraser Rosman, 194-centimetre wingman. Yeah. He has a massive tank.
Yeah, we heard Richo talking about him before.
So, yeah, there's some exciting players out there.
One of them with an opportunity is Jordan Gallucci. He's applying the tackle there. We mentioned how he was a He was an early second-round draft pick from a fair few years ago to Adelaide. Just never clicked for him at Adelaide.
27 games for the Crows, but certainly has enough talent to be on the AFL list. So.
Wretched run with injuries as well. He didn't have a great run with injuries for a couple of years there. So he's the number 13 there for Richmond. In front of the contest.
And Ryan Mansell out there today will hopefully get a look at him. He signed just last week as that pre-season supplemental rookie for the Tigers. So it'll be a good opportunity for him to get his first taste of AFL footy. He's a sample premiership player from Tasmania, 3 flags at North Launceston. So a talented athlete all round. He played cricket growing up, a bit of soccer as well. Now getting a chance on the AFL list, so thoroughly deserved.
So Bailey Laurie just got that kick out, one of the D's high draft picks. Nice ride there from Pickett. Immediately wrapped up.
Jay Lockhart there for the D's. He's one that probably a little bit unlucky not to be in the A-team today. He has played some big games for the D's last year, and he'll be looking to be a real senior figure.
He looked like he was basically an emergency today.
He was,
wasn't he? He was warming up for a while.
All day, so yeah, expect him to play some senior footy this year as well.
So Garthwaite has worked his way up to full forward. Played a lot of his footy so far in defence for Richmond. A lot of his junior footy as well, but he's now inside that forward 50. There's Nitschke. Good to see him out the field, Aaron Nitschke. Rioli bursts away from the pack, kicks high towards the top of the goal square. That's a strong intercept mark by Harrison Petty going back with the fly to the ball. So Petty with the relieving mark here for Melbourne can send them away. It's 1 straight 6, the D's. Richmond 2 behinds. So the ball trickles over the line and out of bounds.
So we've got another very important guest in the commentary box now, the head of footy at the Richmond Footy Club, Neil Baum. It's been a good day of footy so far. Have you liked what you've seen?
We've been sweating up watching our guys play, so it's been good fun. It really has. I think both teams would have learned a fair bit from the earlier part, and even now. So am I not talking into that properly? Yeah. No, I've been doing this for 100 years, and I'm still muck it up. No, it's been good. It's terrific. The track's in beautiful shape. It's a fair hike out here, but it's worth getting here. I can tell you, it's been very good. It's been terrific.
What stood out to you from the first game, from your observations?
I thought Melbourne played very well. I thought we came back at them a couple of times. I mean, it's always a little bit hard to know what the motivation is for both the teams. It's probably more important to them in a sense because they're playing last year's premiers and what about our blokes, etc. But no, I think we both got a fair bit out of it, quite a bit. All the players will go back and look at it again and say, I can fix that or I can be better at this. But there was a lot of positives for both of them, I think.
And this time of year, from a fan's perspective, is a lot about seeing a lot of guys who haven't received senior exposure in previous years. So we saw someone like Will Martin and Hugo Ralphsmith get to that time.
I mean, that's our big challenge. Like we were going pretty well. The boy who just caught that, Big New-on. I mean, we've seen him a little bit at the next level, and we need to do that as well. But even the boys like Will Martin, I thought was pretty good. I mean, our challenge is to play enough of them, to have a look at them. And even Jake Arch, you saw how well he played. And he played pretty well last year as well, but didn't get a game right at the end. But we've got quite a few kids that we really do want to give a challenge to let them play. But you still got to pick your best team every week. So it's quite a challenge to do that. But and we don't even know. I mean, we blame COVID for everything, but we don't really know what the VFL are going to do. How we're going to fit. We know we will, and there'll be something there. But how do we fit, and how do we make it all happen? So it's quite a challenge. But I'm really proud of what footy's been able to do. And even, sometimes we might be critical of the AFL for some of the things they do. For them to have made it possible for us to have the season last year was wonderful. Really wonderful.
As Bailey Laurie sticks that through for the Demons, he's a good ball user, very crafty around the goals and off a step, finishes very nicely. I think one of the important things for the Tigers is not having top draft picks in recent years, but you've managed to pick up some really talented kids. Obviously, Matt Clark's doing a great job as a list recruiting there.
Yeah.
We've seen some of them today.
It's a challenge. It's always a challenge.
Yeah.
A lot of it is how good your program is, how well your kids fit in, because the kids aren't that much different. You know, I mean, sometimes pick one is obvious, but pick 10 to pick 30 or whatever, they're all fairly similar in lots of ways. So does your program encourage them? Can you help them enough? Are they challenged enough, etc. is really the secret to it all. So we're pretty proud of what our program's been able to do the last few years, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen now without just automatically. You've got to do the work.
Interesting ball up from umpire Mark Williams there. Nonetheless,
it's great. It's great to see Kingers and Choco out there as the umps. It's terrific, really good.
Thompson Dow sent that one further forward, and we're seeing.
And those you just keep mentioning those. They're the kids we've got to give an opportunity to look at. And there's a couple. Collier Dawkins is a little bit sore. He got a whack in the head last week, so he's not playing. And a few of those kids. Even today, Jackie Ross played. We need to look at them all. But that's the challenge. But it's a lovely opportunity to play them. Hopefully.
Yeah, you mentioned Thompson Dow, brother of Carlton's Paddy. I'm hearing he was one of the most impressive in the two side for the intra-club match last week. Got to be looking forward to seeing him play some more senior footy this year.
Yeah, well, they're all in that same boat. You've just got to challenge them and encourage them to train as well as they can. And like today is a training day for them, really. Yep. What are they working on? Are they confident with the balls around them? Do they fumble? When they fumble, why do they? Etc. 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 Are they kicking well? And all the little bits that they need to work on it. So it's not obviously not outcome driven. It doesn't matter who's in front on the scoreboard. It's what they do, how they do it, etc.
So Ryan Mansell was a really good story for Tigers fans and for footy in general. We were talking about him before, a Sandford Premiership player last year, boy from Tasmania. Got his opportunity via the SSP last week.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Yeah, great. Yeah, he's just got a great attitude towards playing footy, so hopefully he'll get his opportunity.
So there's another, I think, one or two. I think there's definitely one list spot remaining. So we've got Gallucci running around there today. Obviously a player that Tigers fans will be pretty familiar with, Derek Egmales-Smith as well, Josh Green and Nick Kouroupas as well.
Yes, they've all got a story to tell. It's a matter of what we decide to do. It's not as easy as it looks, so we've just got to figure out what we're going to do there. It hasn't been decided as yet. We like them all, but I'm not absolutely sure what we're going to do.
Injury-wise over the off-season, it's been pretty reasonably smooth sailing.
Yeah, we've got a few that are a bit sore, but nothing too serious. We've got a couple of knee recovers, which all take their time. And there's a handful that aren't playing today, but most of them should be available over the next week or two. It's probably only, I'm not sure that Basher will be quite right to go, but most of the others should be pretty right, I think.
It's the D's into attack. Austin Bradkey flies a young former basketballer. Hands off to Mitch Brown. Bradkey from the pocket. Laurie, a little knock on, clever, but Bedford is wrapped up.
Well done.
Good intensity there from the Tigers.
There's 7.5 minutes to play in this first quarter. D's been able to make the most of their opportunities. Samson Ryan got the tap down. Egmales-Smith tries to rebound. Pickett leaping high, and Tigers fans have seen that a lot over the past couple of years.
Nice bit of play. They're looking after each other, Eki and Marlon, which is good. That's a nice strong kick too.
He's looking for Garthwaite.
Good contest from Garthwaite. He's playing a bit up some forward. He's been playing defence most of the time. Kick it in a hurry. We're just about to kick a goal. I'm happy with that.
Beautifully ball movement. So the Tigers have their first goal of the game. They go on to 139. Melbourne 2 straight 12. Just from a coaching perspective, there's been a big shuffling amongst the coaching department with Justin Leppich stepping away, Craig McRae going to Hawthorn, Adam Kingsley's gone to defence, Sam Lonergan to the midfield, and Andrew McQualter has gone to the forward line. So there's been a bit of restructure.
Yeah, we had to make changes because of the whole COVID thing. We had the challenge, and we were lucky in a way that Lepper he wanted to have a year off because we would have been challenged with we can't keep all these people because the AFL won't let us. And then McRae leaving Craig's a terrific coach, but what our attitude is, we encourage them to look after themselves and improve themselves. So it's not as though he's been nasty to us. We hope he does well. But and just to give the different coaches different little areas to do, they work very much together. They've always known what the other bloke does, but it's a good opportunity for them. So it'd be interesting to see how it all goes. But I mean, the thing that our guys have done as well as I've seen anywhere in footy is actually work together, looked after each other, whether they're coaches or players or whatever. I mean, that's why we've got some of the wonderful outcomes we've got over the last couple of years, which are something to be very proud of, I think.
It's the D's in the back line.
Oh, that's not the best kick in the world.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. Been turned over about 45, about 20 metres out from goal, 45-degree angle, rather.
And I don't even know all of these kids because we haven't had that much. Well, we haven't had that much directly to do them. Although I was at the club yesterday, I had to do something, and they were out there having a run around. Steve Morris is looking after them, but hopefully we'll see a lot more of them, and I know a bit more about them.
Yeah, so a few VFL players helping out today, which is a good opportunity.
Yes, it's great for them. It's terrific. Yeah. Yes, it'll be interesting to see how it all works out. But we're not absolutely sure. We've got no idea what the program is, but a fair chance that it'll be on the back of what the AFL program is for obvious reasons, because the kids have got to get a game. But some of these kids who are playing today didn't get to play much at all last year. Our kids on the list for that obvious reason. But been a big challenge. But they'll get there. It's still a great opportunity for them.
No VFL last year, of course, so some of these guys haven't played for a long period of time, so yeah, they'll just be keen to have a crack.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's Thompson Dow's had a couple of clearances already. Now Paddy Naish streaming through, trying to do.
Well, you see them. You see Naish, and you just know that he can do things that are AFL standard, and you just got to, how do we give him the opportunity? And Dow is the same. And I mean, as I said, I like the look of Bigsy as well, and most of them out there, they've all got a story to tell. So hopefully they'll get an opportunity. And young Samson Ryan, new player, etc. Be interesting to see what we can do with them and what opportunities they do get. But it's not as easy as it looks sometimes.
Yeah. A good problem to have when you got a fit list and
well, no, it is obviously we don't want injuries, we don't want to have to play them, but I mean that's the reality of it, is that if they don't get an opportunity, they don't know and we don't know, so we need to do it. And even kids like young Morris Rioli Jr. be a great opportunity to have a look and see what he can do at some stage.
So just over 3 minutes remaining in this first quarter, the first of 3 quarters. Game B here between Richmond and Melbourne. Looks like a Melbourne player may have been dealt with after they kicked, and looks like Adam Kingsley paid the free kick there, the downfield free kick.
Oh, they've got no idea what they're doing, these umpires. Oh, hang on. It's supposed to be funny.
He's got a good footy brain though, Adam Kingsley.
Oh, he certainly has.
Oh, yeah.
And so has Choco. So I think it's a pretty tough job umpiring, to be fair, but it's nice to see them out there.
And adding a new rule that has been sort of widely discussed in the past couple of days about the standing still rule as well. We heard Alan Richardson beforehand talking about how that will play a big role in how teams move the ball. Every team moves the ball this year. You probably wouldn't have been watching as closely as coaches, but from your footy experience, do you think it might open up the 45-degree kick a little bit more?
Oh, there's no doubt that it will. I'm not sure whether that's such a great idea or not, but it certainly will. It certainly will. I think the powers that be are trying to make it a more offensive game, make it easier to score, etc. I'm not absolutely sure why, but if they are, I think they will achieve what they're trying to achieve. There's no doubt, as we can see now here, it's just a lot easier to do that than it was.
Yeah, very good point.
Found the player and away you go. So I think Richo's absolutely right. But you'll need to do a fair bit of work on it to help each other, but there's no doubt it'll make it easier. I think it's a bit unreasonable personally, but that's only my opinion.
There was a free kick from the Essendon game, the Essendon trial match that led to a 50-metre penalty that sort of had the footy public up in arms. You could see there the Melbourne player on the mark not moving at all as the player sort of curved out to the left. So you can still early stages able to see the impact of how that works. I'm not sure how many 50-metre penalties Adam Kingsley and Mark Williams will be paying though today.
No, I don't think they will. But I mean, but that's the hard thing, and because I think the rule says it's not play on until the umpire says play on.
Yeah.
If he doesn't call it, you can't go.
That's right.
But if he's, I think that's a bit unreasonable. But again, It's only my opinion. And umpiring is pretty tough. I do give him that. But the good thing is that Dan Richardson's in there helping him, so I know that he's a really good footy thinker. So he'll help him enormously, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the same with all rules as well. When they bring a new one in, it takes a little while for the players to adjust, but then by round 6 or 7, it'll become the norm. And hopefully the game's better for it, because
I think
that's
it's hard.
why
I mean, what we underestimate is that it's hard for the umps as well. All of a sudden they have to think another way, and they got to hope that they can communicate with the player so they know why they're doing it. Which is still quite an important part of it as well. Even though you've just got to do what the umpire tells you, but it's much better if the umpire and the player are communicating about what they're actually seeing and perceiving.
Another rule change this year is the interchange. So the cap's gone from 90 to 75. They're trying to, I guess, add a bit more fatigue to the game, which they think will spread it. What are your thoughts on that one?
Oh, well, I understand why they are. They want to make it
a bit more space on the
field.
field.
I don't understand why, but I'm not sure that I like all of that kind of interference. But then, what do you do? How much interchange should there be? And when I played in the old days, there was none. So should there be none, or should there be some? Is it good for the game? Is it not? I mean, I think it's a debate that there's almost no answer to.
Well, it's been a good start here at Casey Fields. We've seen Game A, the D's take an 11-point win, and Game B, the Tigers 4 points clear at quarter time. Neil Baum, thanks very much for some of your time.
Pleasure, guys. Really, really lovely. And lovely to be out here. The track does look fantastic, and we thank the Melbourne Footy Club for hosting us. It's been lovely. So we look forward to a great season for both of us. And again, as I said, without being too nice, the Melbourne guys they played pretty well today. It was good for both teams, I think. So who knows what'll happen.
Absolutely.
Real pleasure.
Been
Thanks for inviting me on. Thanks, guys.
We'll be back right after this.